Let's switch gears to the other type of problems. On these problems, numbers 3 and 4, we used inverse. So for inverse trig functions, remember that was whenever they gave you like sine and they put that -1 there, cosine, -1, tangent with the -1. The way you say that is you say inverse of sine, inverse of cosine, tangent, inverse of tangent, right? And what an inverse allows you to do, it is allows you to find angle measurements. Okay, that means that our value of x is going to be in the angle position, and they're going to give you your opposite side length and your hypotenuse side length. So it's a little bit different. And we do it a little bit different on our calculator as well. Okay, so you can look on your calculator for the inverse trig. It would be right above the sine, cosine, and tangent. You usually have to use the second button. Sometimes it's a shift button. All right, so let's look at number 3. On number 3, this is our angle right here. Okay, that's the angle we're trying to find. All right, so on this problem here, we are trying to find the measurement of angle x, so I know I'm going to use inverse. Okay, now let's look at what sides are given to us. The sides that are given to us, move that over there. The sides that are given to us here are the, in relation to the angle, in relation to the angle is the opposite and the hypotenuse. Okay, so opposite over hypotenuse, if you go back up to SOHCAHTOA, is sine, right? So I'm going to set this up using sine. So it's going to be sine of x, right? And this is, I kind of wrote this wrong over here. I'll explain that. Let me erase that because it's not really correct. But that's the idea with it. Okay, so it's sine of x, right? I lost my pen here, equals the hypotenuse length, which they gave us, that's 15, over the hypotenuse, so opposite over hypotenuse, so hypotenuse is 23. Huh, I'm not sure why that changed. That was really weird. 23. There we go. Okay, so we have 15 over 23. All right, so the way that we're going to go about doing this is we are going to rewrite the problem, okay? Whenever your variable is in the angle, you need to rewrite it as an inverse. So rewrite as an inverse, okay? So here's how you do that in case you forgot. It means that you're going to have x by itself, which is what you want, and then you're going to switch your function to an inverse sign. So that's going to be sine -1. Now, right here in this angle, where we have like the angle position, right? I use quotes on that because that's not really what it is anymore. You're going to put your ratio of 15 over 23. Okay? So that's exactly what you're going to put into your calculator. That is calculator ready. All right, so looking at that, let's go to our calculator. You can also do it on here if you want to, or both, and see if you get the same answer. I'm not sure where on here where our inverse trig functions are. So I'm going to go old school here on my calculator. So you might, maybe we need to switch to scientific calculator. Let's see. Figuring this out together, guys, right? Scientific calculator. Oh, look, there's all kinds. Look how many there are. So many different kinds. Let's try a different one here. Oh, so I don't know if I like that one. All right, I'm just going to use my old school calculator, and what I'll do is I'll find a good one online and I will link it to you so that you have a good online calculator if you don't have one here. Now, you also have one on your phones. If you have an iPhone or an Android, you'll be able to find one on there. That might be the best thing to do, so you're not having to be at the computer. So on this calculator here, I'm over here, what you're going to do is you're going to say second sine, and that will give you the inverse sine, right? And then you're going to put in 15 divided by 23. Okay, press equals, and you should get an answer. Okay. Okay, so then that should give you a value. Again, it's important that your calculator is in degrees, which we've already recognized that. And then I can see that I got 40.7. Sure, 40.7. And remember that represents degrees. I don't know why it keeps changing my zeros. It likes to change my zeros for me. So I'm going to fix that here. Okay, so now it's time for you to try one. Number 4 is going to be your you try. So you want to try this one. Okay, and so pause the video, give this one a try, and see how you do. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go over this one with you guys. So on this problem here, here's your angle right here. Angle is x, right? In relation to that angle, you should have noticed that you do have the hypotenuse, and then you do have the adjacent side. So cosine it is. So I'm going to do cosine of our angle, which is x. I don't know it, so I just make it x. And then it's going to be equal to the adjacent side, which is 16, over the hypotenuse, which is 27. And it keeps like changing what I'm writing, which is really interesting. Okay, so I'm going to then go ahead and notice that I am missing an angle, so I have x equals, right? And then that turns it into inverse. Cosine inverse of 16 over 27. I think that's why. There. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and put that in the calculator. Putting it into the calculator, you should have gotten 53.7 degrees. And that is your answer, right? Now, if they wanted you to find more information about this triangle, you could. Like on number 4, if I wanted to find this last side, I could use Pythagorean theorem. If I wanted to find this third angle, I could take this angle and subtract it from 180. So this does allow you to move further with the problem. So we will be talking about solving for right triangles next, but for the time being, hopefully you enjoyed this video and it was a good review for you. Now it's your turn to go practice on the worksheet that I have presented to you on Google Classroom. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon, hopefully, right?